And we are live. Hello, everyone. My name is Jack Holder. Welcome to the Great Command Meant launch stream. My name is Jack Holder. With me is Alex Lewis of Alex Makes Comics. And we have a Kickstarter going live right now. I just posted the link. You can check it out there. You can also check it out right below, right there. So it is amazing that this is going on right now. This is a project that I personally have been working on for well over a year, ever since the last anthology was brought to life. So we are doing a live stream. Alex is jumping in to be amazing and give support. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, who is this guy? What's going on? What is happening? So, The Great Command Meant is a new comics anthology that just launched in the last minute on Kickstarter. It is a comics anthology featuring over 24 comics, talking about what the world is like, how we respond to it, how do we respond to the commands in our lives. Now, we get commands throughout all aspects of our lives. Live free and prosper. Go clean your room. Go forth and do good. And all of these commands affect our lives, not just because of what they say, but what we take them to mean. So in this comics anthology, you're going to see some amazing stories. From the creators that are here today, you have 1 hour per student, which really delves into the educational constraints, literally of time, to Matt Kuhn's tablets, which really gets into social media and current technology and how it can both affect and go way too far in certain aspects. That is what is going on right now. If you want to know more, what we're doing to make things a lot easier for people, so people are like, this is amazing, I want to know more, you can click that Dropbox link, copy it, paste it. We will be adding it to the comments. We have a 6 comics preview PDF completely free that you can just download, check out, see that everyone's work here is absolutely phenomenal. And then you will go back the Kickstarter. Speaking of, I know it's only been 3 minutes. I want to see how we are doing. All right, we are waiting on our... No, we have our first backer, and I want to give that person a shout out because thank you so very much. I have to, yeah. Let's see. Travis Gibb, one of our fellow creators. Travis, thank you so much for backing right now. That is absolutely fantastic. So let me be not the only person here. We're not going to go too far into them, but I want you guys to see the amazing and hear the amazing creators here. So Alex, why don't you just say hi and just a little bit.
Hey. Hi everybody. Sorry, I'm going to stand in a way that doesn't have laundry hanging behind me. So my name is Alex of Alex Makes Comics. You can find me on Instagram at Alex_makes_comics. And for this anthology, I've written and illustrated a short story called 1 Hour Per Student, which is very much based on my day job, in which I'm a lecturer. And it really explores this idea of we are told that we have 1 hour per student, and that's fine 90% of the time. But as the year progresses, and particularly in the aftermath of COVID, when the constraints on the education system have been growing exponentially, and when the challenges that students are facing now are a lot more complicated and a lot more multifaceted, from mental health to health and how that impacts on their learning and their education, to financial issues in terms of how to pay their tuition and everything else. That 1 hour per student is getting squeezed, but it's getting squeezed at a time when we're also all being told not to hire new people because financial futures of universities are uncertain also in the times of COVID. So the story explores that through the metaphor of teaching in space, of course, when you have limited oxygen supplies and when you have to make decisions about your own health versus the health and well-being of the people that you're helping. So yeah, check it out if you're interested. I think there's a free preview on Dropbox, and I'm just very excited to be part of this project. I'm really excited to be working with so many amazing and diverse creators. It's a real privilege to be here, and yeah, thanks, Jack.
Thank you, Alex. And Matt, this is actually his second anthology. He jumped in not once, but twice with someone who never had an editing credit to his name. So thank you for jumping.
No problem.
And Matt really likes to get into sci-fi. Last time he had almost a precursor to his comic, The Reset, and now we have tablets. So
yeah, so I really was thinking about, like, the obvious connection of the commandments being written on stone tablets, and then sort of, everybody, especially like when I look at my kids, how much time they spend looking at tablets, electronic tablets, an iPad or whatever you have. So I just wanted to sort of play with that idea. And then from there, we sort of, we like to say that it's sort of like a They Live, like a modernized They Live, like when Roddy Piper would put the glasses on and it would sort of then give you sort of like the subliminal messages. So we sort of played with that, and, with trying to tie it into sort of the themes of the commandments. So we're pretty happy. And yeah, this was the first time I got to work with Ertan Sehan. He's normally been a colorist in comics, but this time he went all in and he did the line art and the colors here. And I also have a co-writer, Noah Ray. He helped me sort of flush out the story. So we're pretty excited to be part of this book, and I appreciate it. You gave me my first chance with the Why Faith book, and we're always here to help out and support your projects.
Thank you so much, Matt. Because we've mentioned it twice, and I keep all my stock right by my desk for talking about Why Faith, the first anthology that you can get. This is the Why Faith Comics anthology is our first foray into what this sort of anthologies of meaning is all about. My background is actually in church and the arts. I have a master's degree in divinity from Boston University School of Theology. And once I graduated and figured out that the only thing you make less money at than church has got to be art, I wanted to figure out how to actually be able to talk with people about these bigger issues. What does it mean to talk about faith in a sort of direction that isn't based around conversion? And it was the same thing here with the Great Command Meant. We want to be able to talk about these driving forces in our lives that are so integral. But once you get to a certain level of, I don't want to look like an a-hole all day, every day, you start to be like, I'm not going to mention politics. I'm not going to mention religion. I'm not going to mention faith. And that's going to make the world spin a little quieter, if not a little easier. So Why Faith doesn't flip that on its head, but it's ask what can we do if we talk about what drives us? And the Great Commandment now asks that question. Okay, what we have this foundation of faith or belief or this sort of introduction into what is important in our lives. The next question is, how do we take it and apply it? The one anthology piece that I never really talk about, ironically, is my own. It's called Knock Knock. And it was, I got to return to working with Lucas Santos, who's worked with me on my own comic, The Following Casework. And I really wanted to tackle, because this really started in 2018, what would happen if a subspecies or an outsider race was suddenly outlawed. As I was going on, Myanmar was going on in full force, and we were discovering some things at the southern border that made you want to run and hide. So I wrote Knock Knock from a faith-based perspective, but also like, what would happen if every man dealt with this? And Lucas brings his usual amazing fantasy flair to it. It is set in a mystical world with kobolds and magic instead of talk shows. It's crystal ball shows. That's what you would see there. One Facebook user is saying, I love the idea of this faith-based comic anthology, and you should totally get it, because you can actually get Why Faith and the Great Commandment as a package deal in the Kickstarter. And we have already cleared over $100 for amazing backers. One of them whom is sitting here. Alex.
Well, I just mainly wanted Why Faith because I've met Jack later on, so I didn't actually get the original book. So yes, this was my chance to get it. Sorry.
One of these days, when COVID allows us, and we are going to find some way for me to get multiple creators for both Why Faith and the Great Commandment, and we are going to do a massive signing party so people just actually have multiple signed copies. What I ended up doing for Why Faith was hilariously fun, because of course a lot of your friends end up being a little bit closer to you. We had a couple of creators drop by my place, and we've just drank and signed books. That was our life. Facebook user, I plan to get it because I believe a piece I did is it. I don't know which Facebook user this is. They are only saying Facebook user. Thank you, StreamYard. But many thanks. So here is a question for you, Matt. And before I jump into all of this, I do want to say that this is the first of many live streams that we are going to be this month. Yes! Oh, great. So, sorry, sidetrack. Just about every creator, including Alex and including Matt, are going to be doing live stream interviews. We're doing pretty much one a day, where I'll be talking with creators of these comics, talking about their influences, both artistic and moral, philosophical, ecclesiastical, you name it. and we'll be really diving in to their work. So you're going to be able to see Matt come back. You're going to be able to see Alex come back, and they'll be having an amazing time talking a lot longer than I am, hopefully. But Matt, do you want to talk about just like what it was like a little bit? Because this anthology was, the creation process was a bit different than Why Faith and other anthologies because you had to deal with a pandemic in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So this one was a little challenging in a number of ways, even pre-pandemic. Sort of the idea, the general idea of tablets was the first thought. So then, you know, and children being on electronics, you know, so we built a story around that. And Ertan, he lives in Turkey, so we were communicating through the computer, which we probably would have had to be doing anyways through the pandemic. But yeah, it was interesting. We were, you know, in constant communication. You know, I was able to let you know a little behind the scenes. We missed our due date, but you know, I was able to let you know about 2 weeks beforehand that we were probably going to be late. You know, everybody was sort of scrambling, but I think that sort of communication that we had via, you know, Facebook messages, emails, and stuff like that, we were all able to sort of, even though we were all remote and all scattered throughout the world dealing with our sort of personal situations, we were able to still get together, talk about where we were, you know, what we were looking to deliver, and you know, just that communication was vital.
Excellent. Yeah. So I will be talking hopefully throughout the month, giving some editing tips for everyone. The most important one that I can really impart, if you want to do not just an anthology here in comics, but pretty much in anything, set yourself personal deadlines and then add much more time. You're going to actually give yourself this needs to be done way farther than the art deadline that you are giving creators, because creators really want deadlines. Trust me, they really, really want deadlines. It's how they set up their entire work schedule. But life happens, and if you give them a deadline and you give them enough of a window in between that and launch, I cannot stress how much this is so reassuring to other creators, because I have gotten emails in both anthologies. Oh my God, I am like 36 hours behind deadline. I am the worst person in the world. I'm like, no, I budgeted an extra 3 months, because especially with this, because there was a pandemic. I think we even pushed the art deadline back a month, right, Matt?
Yeah, we did. I was I think prior to that pushback, I was scrambling, and then you sent the email, said we're going to push everything back, and I sent a message off to the team. I'm like, okay, we got another month. Let's get this working. And you know, even with all of that, we still needed a little bit of a grace period, which was helpful. But like you said, it was sort of, you had built in a few and you were moving them back, so everybody was sort of adjusting on the fly. But I really appreciate, you know, whenever I was able to send you a message, it was very comforting to hear back that yes, you know, just keep working. You know, I understand everything that's going on, and I think you know, for yourself, you probably were excited. Well, not excited because not the right word. You're probably comforted that I was going to you and saying, "Hey, I'm still working on this. I haven't sort of dropped off the face of the earth. I know that I'm late, but I'm still working. This is where I am. this is what I have, this is what I'm projecting to be able to do. So I think, you know, that communication goes both ways, because you as the editor, you don't want sort of your creative team to sort of just, you know, give you radio silence and you're like, what's going on here? Am I going to wake up the pages on the day, or am I just never going to hear back from these people again?
That is exactly right. I try to, throughout the process, I tried to send out an email about every week or two. They have really stepped up in the last few days. My stuff has now started falling into some creators' spam folders just because of how much I'm sending. But when you're editing, very much you're like sending 40 emails and you'll get 3 responses. And you know that it very much is creators are most likely introverted, and it's not that they're not responding consciously. I've had times where I'm like, no, I sent an email. I sent it like immediately. And it's like, oh no, I really thought about sending emails. Wonderful. One of the artists has an amazing comment, Sarah Morrison. I love deadlines. I love the whooshing noise they make as they go by. Douglas Adams. Yep. Douglas Adams, amazing creator, avowed atheist, but the amount of humor that he brought to life was absolutely phenomenal. And Sarah Morrison is actually going to be with me tonight, along with writer Story Boyle, as we are going to be discussing their work, Key, which dives into feminism, fables, and Genesis chapter 3. So that one's going to be really great, especially for me because I get to talk about the book of Genesis, because I am that kind of nerd. I want to just check in, see how we are doing, because we have gotten a few more. We just hit 200. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you all so much. Einar, John, Jennifer, George, Alex, Rob, and Travis, so many amazing creators that actually have had a chance to work with and back, and just also get a chance to enjoy some of their work. Some of them, funnily enough, are amazing fans of mine who don't miss a comic. So, other things that are going on, beyond the interviews, we are going to be doing some really fun extra rewards. We're going to be releasing them on certain days and certain milestones as we get towards our goal of $5,000. So make sure you check us out. We're going to be doing a lot of updates for you, especially because all of these live streams are going to be ending up on YouTube. They're going to be ending up, of course, here on Facebook. And it's going to be just, this is probably going to be the most integrated and collaborative campaign I've ever done personally, which actually makes me really excited. I cannot stress that enough. I love doing anthologies, and I love doing this sort of collaborative process because it doesn't feel like you're just in your office arguing with the voices in your head. Matt is looking at that going, yep, that is writing. Do we have any questions or comments going forward? It does not look like it. So I think we are at almost the half hour mark. I think this is a wonderful time to call it not a day, but definitely the initial half hour. Matt is going to be posting. Matt, when are you scheduled to come to?
Oh, it's on my calendar. I need to look it up really quick, but definitely once I do, I will. I'll post the date of my appearance all over my socials.
November 9th.
November 9th, yes. So I'll be happy to delve further into the story of tablets that day. But yes, I look forward to that.
And Alex Lewis is going to be October 29th. You will be seeing Sarah, Story, and myself tonight. And you're going to be seeing a lot of me and these creators throughout the next 30 days. So back the Great Command Meant Kickstarter. It is on right now. It is absolutely amazing. I cannot stress that enough. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you have a wonderful day. Tell everyone about it and enjoy the day. Here around Boston, it is wet. It is gray. It probably reminds Alex a lot of home. But that's the sort of weather that crazy Bostonian me really loves. Have some tea, hug a loved one, and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Jack, before you sign off, I just want to thank you for the chance to be in this book again, and I just want to point out that you are a great supporter of indie comics, and you are also a very positive person, which helps out a lot. Monday I usually wake up to a pleasant Facebook message from you telling me to work through some have a good week, and those mean a lot to me. So I just want to take this chance to thank you for those.
Thank you so much. I will talk about the weekly affirmations, definitely with you, and probably with a few more people. That is unplanned. This is not the price of admission for anthologies. But thank you so much, Matt. Working with you, working with Alex, working with A.A. Rubin, who is on the 22nd. Honestly, working with these people is always an honor and a privilege. And I cannot wait to be able to gush about them to their face so they can do the exact same thing that Matt just made me do. Thank you all so very much. Tell everyone about it. And really, I hope you have a wonderful day. This is a crazy time, but together, not only will we get through it, but we will find some joy, meaning, and peace. Thank you all so much.